I said that when I saw him, I saw the fact that he was so handsome, and I loved him handsome like that. Hey guys, you are welcome back to my channel. I'm Charity Ugu, and today I'm going to be sharing something very special. Actually, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I'm answering a question someone asked me, and I believe that lots of girls out there will learn something from this question, and so that is why I'm sharing it. I've actually answered the person, but I want to share these questions and answers with you today. And so guys, I want to say thank you to those of you that have subscribed to my channel. But if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button so we can journey together. And so I want to say thank you so much to those of you that have been watching my videos. Thanks a lot for all of your support. I'm so grateful. And so today, like I said, I'm answering a question. It was sent to me and I replied, and I said to myself that this question actually can be shared with other people, other girls especially, who are interested in these answers, and that is why I'm doing this today. And so this question is coming from a sister from another mother. She is a younger sister. She is someone I love so much, and these questions are so wonderful, they are so powerful, and I decided to share them today. And at the end of watching, I'd love for you to ask me other questions you think, something you think I may be able to give an answer to. Go ahead and ask me. For those of you that are watching me for the first time, I am Charity Ugu, and I'm a wife, and I'm a mom, and I'm a businesswoman, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a lot of things. I've been married for 15 years, and I felt that I can give out something, I can say something to someone to be able to encourage you, especially in the journey of marriage, which can sometimes be very tough on some people or everyone. So I'm going to be sharing some stuff with you, but today I'm doing an episode 1 of my girls listen up. And so she first asked me, I'm going to be taking the questions one by one. There are actually 6 questions in all, and I'm going to explain them little by little, and I hope that you are able to understand them in the way that I'll answer these questions. And so she said, in number 1 question, she said, what are some of the things you saw in your man that made you say yes to him? Well, I answered that question. It was kind of, because I said to her, I said that when I saw him, I saw the fact that he was so handsome, and I loved him handsome like that. So the truth of the matter is that he is a very handsome man, very, very handsome. And when I saw him, that was the first thing that caught my attention. Even though we knew each other we were worshiping in the same church, we attend the same service, we always know each other, but we never, I don't know about him, but I never thought that we were going to get married. I never thought that I would be the one he will marry, because I was always this girl, gentle, quiet in her own corner, minding her business. So I never thought that he would have eyes for me. But at the end of the day, we got married. So, but then when I was seeing him as a church member, I liked the fact that he was so handsome. I liked the fact that he respected himself. I liked the fact that there were no there were no controversies around him, aside the fact that he had someone he wanted to marry then. So we all believed that he was going to marry that person, and then at the end of the day, it didn't work out for both of them. So aside that, there were no controversies. He was responsible, he was respectful and respected at the same time. So there was no controversies, and I liked it like that. I think that was what caught my attention first, ever, before we thought of getting married to each other. And then before I said yes, when he asked me to marry him, the things that I saw were the fact that he was responsible. He had a house, an apartment of his own, which is very important. You can't just say you are marrying someone who does not even have a place to lay his head. I mean, what kind of marriage is that? So he had a place he was living, and he was not squatting with anyone. He had that place on his own. He was living there, maintaining it, all of that. He could feed himself. He had a business that was going for him. He had a business that he was doing and grooming. That time he was responsible. He was very friendly, Very responsible young man, I must say. So those were the things I saw that made me say yes to him. And so number 2, she asked me, and then the fact that this guy liked me when we got close, when he asked me to marry him, I noticed the fact that he was always, around. He wanted to be around me. He wanted us to talk most of the time. He was calling me, we were always together gisting and talking and all of that. The fact that he liked me a lot, I saw it as a great sign of love between the two of us. That bond, that relationship, was so special. It was so wonderful. That was, and by the way, before we got into this closeness of relationship and whatever, I had already said yes, so those were the things that I saw. And so here also she said, were you at any point concerned about his spiritual life? No, I wasn't. Maybe because of the fact that we were, both Christians, we were attending the same church, worshiping together at the same time, we were always, in fact, he was even more in the service than I was then, he was always available in church. So he was his church person, and I believed, I heard, that his parents, brought them up that way. So I didn't think I had any reason to worry about his Christian life. So if I had met him in a shrine, or if I had met him in a club and we don't worship together and all of that, maybe, most probably, I would have been worried about his spiritual life, because I wouldn't know how his spiritual life is at all. But the fact is that we both, met each other in the church, we worship together and all of that. So I think that was why I didn't worry about his spiritual life. So I hope I've answered that very well. And then the next question, she said, what if the person is a Christian but doesn't take spiritual things seriously? Like he prays but doesn't think life is too serious. Well, the truth of the matter is that life is not too serious. I think I understand what you want to ask there. Life is not too serious, but then you cannot judge someone's spiritual life based on the way you think, because sometimes some people may have all of the look, all of the seriousness, but within them they are nothing to write home about. So I think that when you get to know this person very well, and you get to understand him very well, then you would be able to tell more if he is taking his Christianity serious or not. And then another thing I want to say is that if you have, gotten used to him and you know him, but the issue is that he is a Christian, but he is not too into prayer like that, he doesn't pray that much the way you want him to pray, then you can talk about it. And then aside talking about it, you can actually be a good example for him to follow, especially if you have a very good influence on this young man. You think he does things that you like, you think he wants to please you, you think he truly has love for you, then you can be able to influence him even before you get married. You start making him to understand how you want him to be Christian wise. You start making him go to church, not forcefully, because men of their nature, you don't force them to do things, but your act, your attitude, your personality may just be able to lure him more to Christ. You make him understand God more. He sees you doing, being deep in Christianity yourself. Then automatically you are going to carry him along, and you are going to lead him more closer to God. I think that was the case in my marriage, because in as much as we were worshiping together and all of that, when we got married, I took Christianity even more seriously, and I'm so grateful to God that I did. So I took Christianity even more seriously than my husband, far more seriously than my husband, because I was always praying, I was always reading my Bible and all of that. And so he started following up, and right now I can boldly say that he is doing it very well, very, very well. Sometimes when I'm tired, he is not, and all of that. And so you can actually influence this person. You can actually build up his spiritual life in the way that you want him to be. So I hope that I have been able to answer that question correctly. And so the fourth one, he said, when we faced financial difficulties in our lives, how did we handle it? This story is actually something I cannot finish saying even in a session. Like, it was tough, it was difficult, it was really, really, really difficult. We had our moments then, but only God was able to pull us through, and He has still been doing great things in our lives, improving us every day, helping us to grow every day. The truth of the matter is that we handled it with prayer. We had to pray constantly. We had to take prayers even more serious than we ever did. We had to pray more. We had to commit our lives more and our business more into the hands of God. We prayed and we prayed and we prayed, concerning business and concerning our lives generally, so that we were able to improve. So we handled it well because God helped us. And then as a woman, I'm so grateful to God that I'd never remember a day that I said something bad to my husband concerning his financial status, because the fact is that he was hardworking, always looking for something for the family to eat. He never allowed us to go hungry. And even if there were days that were so tough, years that were so tough and all of that, he was hardworking and I was trying to help out too. So I had that self-control, that in those difficult times he was so good that I didn't even have any. In fact, I'm so grateful to God that I sit back and I think about my life and I remember that I never said something negative. So if I had said something negative, I'm going to be doing a lot of session of girls listen up and wives listen up, and I'm going to be sharing this with you, that even in those tough times you should be careful and you should be supportive, because you never know what the future holds for both of you. Like right now, I'm so grateful that I never said something bad to him. I never said something to demoralize him or make him less a man, And so if I had, now I would have been regretting it, but I'm so thankful to God that I was self-controlled and I had to support him all through. And so right now we are grateful that we had each other and we still have each other going. So that was how we handled those moments. We handled it with the grace of God upon our lives. And she also said here that she used to think that the man was supposed to be the spiritual head of the family. In most cases, no. Yeah, in most cases, no. In the sense that in Christianity, if you check very well, you find out that women are more, would I say serious? No. Men are serious, women are serious, but the women are always more in number in the church. That's to tell you that women are more committed, women are more constant, in the Christendom than the men. Women take it more seriously. Let me just put it that way. In some families, the men are the head, leading in the Christian race. In most families, the women are the ones leading. But it doesn't matter who is leading who. The point is that you both are encouraging each other. You both are helping each other. So if you see your man that he is not that spiritually strong, there's nothing wrong with it. If you think that he has a good heart and he loves God, just that he's not strong enough the way you are, then you just help him. Like I said earlier on, pull him up spiritually and let the both of you learn to assist each other, to help each other, and then at the end of the day, you'll be able to balance up your Christian lives and help each other in times when you are weak and all of that. So that is basically it, So it doesn't have to be the man that is much more stronger than the women. In most families, the women are leading in terms of spiritual life. So I hope I've been able to answer that. And then she said, what happens when you are down spiritually and you need support? I think I've answered part of that question. You need to help each other. You need to pull each other up. So if one person is down, the other person will help each other, will help the other up. And this building up has to start in the beginning of your relationship. You have to take time to study yourselves, tell yourselves what you want, tell yourselves the kind of future that you want for each other. I think I've said a lot on that in one of my videos in how to begin your life as a newlywed. Go check that video in my description, but I'm going to drop it there. I think I've said a lot concerning that aspect of how you can actually begin well, talk about it, tell him what you want, how you want to support each other in your relationship, in your Christian life, that you need to be up and doing, because at the end of the day, without prayer you cannot do it well. You need God to help you. You need God to help you grow, to help improve you, to make you better couple, to keep you growing in your marriage without failing, which is the aim of the whole of this thing, for us to do well and be successful in our marriages to our spouse. So help each other to grow, encourage yourselves, and definitely you will do very, very well. And so these were the questions, 6 of them, and I hope that I've been able to answer them well. So if you have any question that you, or any answer you want me to give to a young girl out there, or you are a girl watching and you have a question, drop it in the comment box and let me go ahead and trash the questions and give you answers based on my own experience. So guys, I'll see you in my next one. Love you like always. Drop your comments and make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed. I'll see you in my next one. Love you, Bloods. Bye for now.